Superbike road racing, the fastest growing form of pavement competition in the world. Superbike racing is popular from a competitor standpoint as well as a spectator's point of view. The reasons are simple. Competitors like Superbikes because machinery and parts are readily available. The bikes start out as machines you can purchase at your local motorcycle dealer. Only a minimum amount of modification to engine and frame are allowed to keep racing costs down. Fans like Superbikes because they can identify with the machinery. Simply stated, what they see on the track is what they ride on the street. It is for this reason that motorcycle manufacturers place major emphasis on the Superbike class. In fact, the 1986 Superbike National Championship will go down in the record books as the most hotly contested series in Superbike history. The reason? For the first time, Honda, Yamaha, and Suzuki all entered fully backed factory efforts. To even the casual observer, it was clear that whoever came out on top would lay claim to the title King of the Superbikes. And more importantly, their motorcycles would be recognized as the fastest, best handling, and most reliable machines in the world. Races from Florida to California to Georgia would decide the championship. 9 races to find out which factory team would earn the most prestigious American road racing title, Superbike Champions. Daytona Beach, Florida, self-proclaimed world's most famous beach. For motorcycle fans, one of the most popular rites of spring is the annual Daytona Beach Motorcycle Gathering. Motorcyclists from all over the United States and the world converge onto this Florida resort town to enjoy each other's camaraderie. After a stint of volleyball on the beach or some sightseeing with your better half, most head to the speedway. What they see is one of the most unique sights in motorcycle racing. Road racers challenging the high-speed bankings of the famed Daytona International Speedway. The 45th annual Daytona 200 was the culmination of a week's worth of motorcycle activities at the Speedway and the surrounding areas. From nighttime dirt tracking to the high-flying world of professional motocross, Daytona is a motorcycle happening. Success at Daytona not only earns riders instant worldwide recognition, but it also sets the tone for the rest of the season. With that in mind, Honda, Yamaha, and Suzuki pulled out all the stops and brought an armada of machines, crew, and spare parts. Team Yamaha recruited their world champion and former Superbike champion Eddie Lawson to head up their effort. Backing up Lawson was former dirt tracker Jim Felice. The diminutive Californian was signed to contest the entire American Superbike Championship Series. Lawson, on the other hand, would ride Daytona and then head off to Europe in the Grand Prix circuit. Also recruited for one appearance at Daytona was Mike Baldwin. The 5-time U.S. Formula One champion had several seasons of Superbike experience under his belt and always goes fast at Daytona. Suzuki came to Daytona with their young lion, Texan Kevin Schwantz. Satoshi Tsujimoto, the reigning Japanese Formula One champion, made a rare U.S. appearance and teamed with Schwantz for a potent 1-2 punch. In addition to the American-based factory efforts, both Yamaha and Suzuki were backed up by factory-assisted efforts from England, Germany, Italy, and the Scandinavian countries. Team Honda was the defending champion at Daytona. In addition, since Honda introduced the Interceptor in 1983, Honda has never lost a Superbike race during Daytona's Motorcycle Speed Week. In 1985, the first 4 places in the Daytona 200 belonged to Honda. Led by 3-time world champion Freddie Spencer, number 19, Honda Interceptors ran away with the proceedings. It was Spencer and Honda's 4th consecutive Daytona Superbike win. Spencer was scheduled to defend his Daytona 200 victory, but a debilitating ear infection and equilibrium problems kept Honda's superstar bedridden at home in Shreveport, Louisiana. In Spencer's absence, Team Honda's hopes rested upon the shoulders of Wayne Rainey and Fred Merkel. Rainey, a former Superbike champ, was racing his first event with Honda and came to the team with impressive credentials. When one talks of Superbike credentials, however, Honda's other rider, Fred Merkel, stands alone. Fly-In Fred has won more Superbike races than anyone in history. Also running under the Honda banner, but not considered an official member of the team, was Honda's dirt track champ Bubba Schubert. The Texas native was on hand at Daytona on a year-old Honda Interceptor. His objective was to gain road racing experience while serving as an unofficial backup to Rainey and Merkel. With Spencer's 11th hour illness, Team Honda's chances for a 5th consecutive win were dealt a major blow. Although Rainey and Merkel were more than capable of winning, Daytona's history of attrition now posed a potential problem. Also, Spencer's Daytona experience was thought equal to that of Yamaha's Eddie Lawson. These two world champions were supposed to cancel each other out in Honda's and Yamaha's equation for victory. But it seemed now that with Spencer out of the picture, Lawson would be the clear-cut favorite. In qualifying, Lawson was fastest, but Rainey was not listening to all the prediction of doom for his team. He put his Honda right alongside Lawson on the starting grid, only 2/100ths of a second off the Yamaha rider's pace. For the first time, Sunday's Daytona 200 would be preceded by two 50-mile heat races on Friday. Lawson won his race easily. Wayne Rainey was in the second heat race of the day. The Team Honda rider proved to be just as impressive as Lawson. He ran away with his race and set the stage for the confrontation with Lawson in the 200-miler. Instead of headlines depicting a Lawson runaway, the international media on hand were now writing and talking about the impending Lawson-Rainey battle. Sunday, and 80 riders take the green flag for the 45th annual Classic. The Lawson-Rainey battle took shape on the first lap. The two Superbike champions raced head-to-head as if the opening laps would decide the 2-hour race. Lawson, with Rainey in tow, pulled away from the rest of the thunderous horde as all eyes were focused on the battle for the lead. Then, suddenly without warning, fate stepped in and played her hand. Lawson came around all by himself. Rainey was nowhere in sight. Next, craned to see what had happened to Rainey. Finally, he appeared on pit lane. For all practical purposes, the race was over. Out on the track, Lawson backed off the throttle, knowing full well that his chief competition could not recover from all the time lost in the pits. Rainey exploded with emotion when the diagnosis of a rear tire problem was confirmed. All the bike preparation, all the hard riding, all the hours of winter testing, everything out the window, dashed by an early rear tire failure. Rainey returned to the race and suffered further tire problems. Yet, when he had good rubber to work with, he carved his way through the field in dramatic fashion. The California rider eventually finished an impressive 4th when all the tire-related delays were considered. Finishing second in the Daytona 200 was Kevin Schwantz on the Suzuki, while defending Superbike champ Fred Merkel upheld Honda honors, finishing third. With tires deciding the race's outcome, it is interesting to note that Merkel started the race on the hardest, most durable compound available. This meant he sacrificed all-out speed and handling for a tire that would go the entire distance. His strategy fell 2 places short. Although Lawson finished first, the other factory Yamahas did not fare nearly as well. Jim Felice's engine exploded and Mike Baldwin DNF'd with engine problems. To finish a grueling race such as Daytona is a victory in itself. A look at the reliability of the factory machines indicates that only the Hondas were able to take the punishment and come out of the fray with a 100% finishing record. Yamaha had only 1 bike in 3 finishing, while Suzuki had only half. All 3 Japanese manufacturers were represented in the Daytona Winner's Circle. For Merkel and Honda, defense of their Superbike title started in a positive fashion. Lawson would not play a part in the championship since he was going off to Europe for the rest of the season. And if you were to place any credence in past history, then Merkel, Schwantz, and Rainey were all still very much in the hunt for the title. After all, no rider